So I want to go over our group project again and go through the details, the due dates, and what's expected for this group project as we wrap up this semester. So now let's take some time and review the details for our group project. For the group project, we've already completed the first task here, where you guys have formed your individual teams of 4 to 5 people. You submitted this as an assignment through Blackboard, and I've created these individual groups on Blackboard for all future submissions of group work. So the next step that you guys have been working on throughout the semester is to create a practical problem. So this needs to be a practical application. It can be anything we've done this semester as far as the material goes. And within this problem, it needs to be similar to something you've seen in the book, lectures, or exams, but an original. Something that you make up completely on your own, not anything that you've just copied from the book. And this is going to be important. This is built into the grading rubric as well, that you need to have an original problem. So within this original problem, you're going to create an illustrating diagram to show what's going on. And you're also going to create an original problem statement that tells the person who's solving this what's going on in the problem and also provides them with all the necessary information they're going to need to solve through your problem. So now that you've created that problem, the next thing that you're going to do is come up with your solution. So you're going to go through and solve the problem that you created. Now within this, I want to see a couple of different things. And these are all going to be points that are within the grading rubric as well. You're going to need to clearly label what you have going on and what you're doing each step along the way. You need to keep everything neat and organized. Show all your general equations. Throughout the entire solution, you need to explain your thought process and how you're solving each step along the way. Clearly define and label your chosen coordinate system that you're using to solve the problem. Draw any diagrams or free body diagrams that are necessary for the problem. And make sure that you stick with and use the same units throughout the entire solution. So this project will be graded and count towards the group project section of your grade. Both the creation of the problem and your solution to the problem will be evaluated, and these are built into the grading rubric when you submit this through Blackboard. So deliverables for this project. The next thing that you're going to be turning in is your problem and your solution. This is something you're going to submit via Blackboard, and I'll be going through the rubric that I mentioned above here as I grade that. Then after that, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be grading the other group's solutions to your problem according to the 10-point grading criteria. This is the same 10-point grading criteria you see below here that we've used throughout the semester for grading your homeworks and your exams. And last, you're going to present your solution. So this is going to be in the form of a video. So you're going to be creating a video solution as you go through step by step your hand solution to the problem. This is going to be very similar to how I go through my hand solutions to problems within the lectures that I've posted on Blackboard. So break this group project down into a couple different steps. Step 1, you've already completed this. You formed your group a little over a month ago, 4 to 5 people per group. You put in the name of your group and each of the group members. So you've already done this. This is completed. And hopefully you've been working hard on creating your problems and your solutions since you formed your group. So the second step was to create your problem. So that's what you're doing again that you're turning in this week here. You create the problem, again, something similar to you've seen in the book, lectures and exams, but not one that you've copied, something you've made up on your own. So that'll be part of your grade is did you actually make this up on your own? It's not something you took from somewhere else. Within this, you're going to have a diagram illustrating the problem like we see down below here. And then you're also going to write out a problem statement that tells what's going on in the problem and provides the people solving, the other group solving your problem with all the necessary information they need in order to come up with a solution. So this here is your problem statement. So again, you want to have not only the diagram you see over to the left, but you're also going to want to have a problem statement that covers all that information they need to solve the problem. So then we move on to our step 3. This is where you go through and actually solve out your problem. So again, this is another portion that's due this week within our module 12 is you're going through and solving out your problem here. Within this, these are all parts of the grading rubric that you're going to need to follow there. So each of these that I mentioned before, you clearly label what you're doing each step along the way. Everything's neat and organized, easy to follow. You're showing all the general equations that you're utilizing in your solution. You explain your thought process and how you're solving each step of the problem. You clearly define and label your chosen coordinate system, and you draw any free body diagrams or diagrams you need along the way, and you use the correct units. So here we can see within the solution right here, you've clearly labeled, okay, these are all the givens. Here's my coordinate system. Here's relating back to the diagram that I've redrawn. Here's what I'm searching for. And here's all the information with the correct units and labeling as well. From there, you be in your solution. I see I clearly labeled, this is my solution. Now I talk about it each step along the way. Spell this out. First, I'm considering ball A. So ball A has this information right here. The ball A starts from rest. So because it starts from rest, I have this relationship here. I recall the kinematic relation. So here's my governing equation that I'm using to solve this. Then I say what I'm doing. I'm plugging in my known values into my governing equation. I take each step along the way as I'm going through the solution and break it down before I come up with the final solution that I'm looking for this part of the problem. Then I do again, there's two parts of the problem. I do the same thing. I say what I'm doing, write down all my variables, all the given information I have, discuss exactly what I'm doing each way along the way, have my general equation there, plug in, go step by step, even as I reduce and simplify all the way down, and I've clearly highlighted or boxed in my final solution. It's nice, neat, easy to follow. Now, you don't have to type out your solution, but if you want to type out your solution, it's easier for you to get that nice, neat, and organized for someone else to look at, then that's acceptable as well. So now let's take a look at some of the milestones and due dates associated with our group project. So we come down here, we can see this first milestone. We've already completed this. You guys have formed your teams and submitted a list of the team members via Blackboard assignment. Again, these are 4 to 5 team members per team. So from this here, hopefully you guys have been working hard towards creating your problem, because that's the next milestone here. On Thursday, April 29th, this is when you're going to turn in that problem that you've created along with your solution. Now this will be done via a Blackboard assignment. And this Blackboard assignment is going to allow you to submit this as a group. So only one member of each of the teams will need to actually submit this assignment to me. As long as one of them's turned it in, they're all linked together through these teams that we've created on Blackboard. Then from there, the next milestone we have here is on Monday, May 3rd. This is when we're going to distribute your team's problem to another team to solve. So you're just going to be solving one other team's problem. So once you've completed that, your solution, you're going to submit your solution to the other team's problem back to them, and they're going to grade that for you. So you give the team that created the problem your solution to their problem that you solved out, and this is going to be on Thursday, May 6th. And the last due date will be on Tuesday, May 11th, and this is when you're going to submit your final video presentation. So what this is going to be, this is going to be similar to like I do when I go through example problems in class. You're going to record a video of you going through your entire solution, explaining your solution, your thought process, relating it back to the governing equations, and all of that stuff included in your virtual presentation. This will be turned into Blackboard and graded as a portion of your group assignment. Now also on Tuesday, May 11th, not only be turning in your video presentation, but you'll also be turning in the graded work from the other teams that solved out your group's problems. And this will be submitted through Blackboard as well. So now a reminder for these group projects, well, this is going to be the evaluation criteria. So your problem, your solution you're handing in to me this week is worth 25% of that grade. So then you'll be grading the other group solution to your problem on that same 10-point criteria that we've used before, and this is also going to count as 25% of the grade as well of how you do as graded by the other groups. And last 50% of it is going to be based upon your presentation of your solution, that pre-recorded video that you're going to be submitting to Blackboard going through your solution to your problem. So now as you're grading the other group's solution to your problem, I want you to go through using the same grading criteria that has been used for the homeworks and exams that you've turned in this semester. So we're going to use the same 10-point scale. We give 2 points for the format. Did they provide their name, the name of their group, the givens, the finds, the appropriate coordinate system, and any labels that are necessary? Is it neat? How easy is it for you to follow through their work? And then 4 points for the correct method, approach, governing equations. And last, 2 points, did they get the answer correct? So I know we've gone through this before previously in the semester, but I want to go through this again as we're approaching the end of the semester now. So at the beginning of the semester, you're going to end up solving every group's problems. We modified that quickly because we saw there's a large number of teams. We have 9 different teams for this semester here for the group projects. So I decided to modify the format slightly back then in the interest of time and workload requirements to complete the projects. So each team will still create the same one problem as we previously talked about at the beginning of the semester, along with their detailed solution to that problem. And that's what's due this week that you're going to be turning in through Blackboard. And then from there, the modification is now you only need to solve one other team's problem and not every other team's problem. So that's going to reduce down that workload again, as we mentioned a little over a month ago. So we'll see the assignment organizations on the next page to see which group's problems you're solving, which group problems you're grading. So each group will solve one other group's problems and submit their work to that team that created the problem to be graded by that group. Now you can do this the same way we've done our homeworks. What you can do is you can just scan in your solution to their problem and then email it to one of the members of that group. So the teams will submit the graded copy of each team's solution to that problem to me, and then I'll update the grades on Blackboard. So we have 11 different teams for the group project this semester. Each team is going to create their own problem and their solution to the problem and give their problem to one other team to solve. The 11 teams are the Catamount Conduction, Convection or Sugar, the Conduction, Costco Wholesale, Gold Team, Team Green, the Heat, MLJJ, 11th Hour, Team Luisos, and Team Chrome. Now for the assignment organization, what we have here is I'm going to tell you which team you're going to give your problem to and whose problem you're going to solve. So Catamount Conduction is going to give their problem to Convection or Sugar, and Convection or Sugar is going to solve that problem and turn it back into Catamount Conduction to grade. Then Convection or Sugar is going to give their problem to the Conduction, because the Conduction is going to solve this and turn it back into Convection or Sugar to grade. Then the Conduction is going to give their problem that they created to Costco Wholesale. Costco Wholesale is going to solve this and turn it back into the Conduction for grading. Then Costco Wholesale is going to give the problem that they created to Gold Team. Gold Team is going to solve this and turn it back into Costco Wholesale for grading. The Gold Team is then going to give their problem to Team Green. Team Green will solve this problem and turn it back into the Gold Team to grade. Then Team Green is going to give the problem that they created to the Heat. The Heat will solve this problem and turn it back into Team Green to grade. Then the Heat will give the problem that they created to Team MLJJ. MLJJ is going to assign this and turn it back into the Heat to grade. Then MLJJ is going to give their problem to the 11th Hour. 11th Hour will solve this and turn it back in to MLJJ to grade. Then the 11th Hour gives the problem that they created to Team Luisos. Team Luisos will solve this problem and turn it back into the 11th Hour to grade. Then Team Luisos will give their problem to Team Chrome. Team Chrome will solve this and turn it back into Team Luisos to grade. Team Chrome will give their problem back to Catamount Conduction up here. Catamount Conduction will solve this and turn it back into Team Chrome